fantastic condition.
See the rules from the commission. To avoid any controversy, I remind you now, to score a knockdown, be careful with your follow-up punches. Do not hit a man on the deck. If either fighter is in trouble and you do not want me to stop the bout, you must show me clearly that you can and want to continue. Knees trunks, below here is low. Below here, knees trunks below. No matter what happens out here, obey my commands. Let's keep it strictly professional. Good luck to you both.
Well, it was almost the Gettysburg Address there, wasn't it, from Ron Lipton? I've never heard such a long set of instructions, and all the fighters want to do is get on with it. Now then, what does Holyfield have left? Can he recreate past glories? Here we go, it's a 10-rounder. It's one Holyfield just has to win if he wants to get back into the big time.
I think this is going to be an explosive one. It started already, like they're in it, in the middle.
It's a big fight for both of them. Holyfield much lighter at 14 stone 11 3/4. He was up around 15.5 stone in his title days. Ray Mercer too, for him a trim 16 stone. He was 17 stone when he had that shock defeat against Jesse Ferguson, the fight where he was accused but later cleared of trying to bribe Ferguson to throw the fight in the middle of it.
Well, that's something unusual in boxing terms. Normally somebody else trying to do it, but Mercer must have really got desperate.
But he was cleared of that. There was, in the end, no foundation to it. It was decided. Holyfield with his shaven skull now, the man who's made $100 million, they say, out of his boxing exploits.
It looks as if Mercer has got some sort of power. When he sits the jab out, he knocks Holyfield's head back, but Holyfield throws about 3 or 4 jabs at a time.
Holyfield was always one of the very best conditioned of all world heavyweight champions. A lot of people said that he was nothing more than a blown-up cruiserweight, and well, there may have been some substance in those stories, but goodness me, he provided some tremendous value in those 2 fights with Riddick Bowe. Left hook from Holyfield. Looks sharp. He looks sharper already to me than he did on the night when he lost to Michael Moorer.
Well, I think he's going to have to be sharp, because one of Mercer's strengths is the fact that he does take a punch and he does have a punch. That makes him dangerous all the time.
Right hand through the middle by Mercer. Both of these two way past their 30th birthday, but the way that the heavyweight division is just at the moment, that is obviously no obstacle with George Foreman up there at 46 and Larry Holmes having recently had a title shot himself. He's, by the way, at ringside here.
It's a good opening round. Holyfield started all right, but I don't know, he seems to have just... Well, it looks as if he's just slowing down the plot a bit there.
You think you've seen it all.
Second round. Holyfield, of course, never did get to meet Mike Tyson, did he? In his first phase of his career. That might be a possibility in the second phase.
That could realistically be the reason why he's back.
Well, it's the fight, isn't it, that all the heavyweights are looking for, the huge payday with Tyson. Oh, good right hand from Holyfield. That stung Mercer into action, but the sharper work is coming from the man from Atlanta, Georgia, Evander Holyfield.
See, Holyfield was never a really big one-punch specialist. Mercer is, and he can take a shot. This is going to make this really exciting.
probably Mercer's #1 attribute. He's got a very good chin. Decent puncher, brave, but possibly a little bit mechanical, and in the past has sometimes been quite badly conditioned, in stark contrast to Holyfield. Holyfield too has proved that he can take a really good shot, as he proved in 2 12-rounders with Riddick Bowe. 1 defeat and 1 excellent victory.
If it comes down to a battle of attrition, Holyfield's a man you've got to put your money on, but will he get down that far? No, Ian, I really don't think Evander Holyfield is as sharp as he used to be. I don't know if that's just... He doesn't look to have that zip.
Well, he could be excused a bit of ring rust, couldn't he, after so long away? I'm sure he's sparred hundreds of rounds in the gym in preparation for this.
I think you're right, man, because I was thinking about the whole Holyfield and forgot that he's had that time off and everything else. Mercer is slipping some of them little short, quick rights in there. Not a lot of them, but every so often.
Holyfield has always had that tremendous work rate about him, but Mercer looks very competitive here. He wants this. Well, he's really fired up for the job, isn't he, here? Ray Mercer, the Olympic champion of 1988 in Seoul, the former WBO champion as well.
Give him a little spank, give him a little hands up, then go to him. Relax, breathe deep in. Breathe deep. Get that blood in there good. Good. I'm good. On the next one. Pick the first one out. I'll give you clean water. You get as much as you want.
Victories over Bert Cooper, over Francesco Damiani, who he knocked out in 9 rounds, and of course a 5th round defeat of Tommy Morrison.
This was the exchange. Holyfield caught Mercer, Mercer came back and caught Holyfield.
Third round, Holyfield in the white trunks here. Former cruiserweight champion of the world. He really cleaned up that division. Went on to become heavyweight champion. Mercer's having some success with that right hand, isn't he?
I'm watching Holyfield and he's not avoiding as much as he could. He's not zipping about as much as he used to. And I know it's a long time out, but there's a lot of those instinct and senses that are not there, that need to be there today.
He was never the elusive kind, though, was he, Holyfield? He was always right there in front of you. He was usually quite easy to hit.
Yes, that's true. But I know, I'm watching him. I'm just worried for him.
Getting that right hand from Mercer, who does pack some power. Holyfield tripling up on the jab and then finding the right hand. Already the signs are there, though, Gary, that this is no formality.
It reminds me of the Mora fight. It really does. That's what I keep seeing. I keep seeing flashes of the Mora fight here.
Holyfield really did look extraordinarily flat that night. Over the top from Mercer, who just lost his balance. That wasn't a knockdown, no question there. A minute to go in round 3. Holyfield, who used to pump fuel into the aeroplanes at Atlanta Airport.
Holyfield got caught with a right to the body there. If he has a heart problem, it was right near the heart, and it stopped him a little bit there.
Well, Mercer starting to get through here, and Holyfield under some fire in round 3. You can't miss with that right hand at the moment, Mercer. Tough reintroduction, this. There could have been easier rehabilitation fights. Last few seconds of the 3rd round.
You think your brickwork's safe as houses? Well, you're wrong.
Big crowd. I see Holyfield's comeback. He probably really made his name, funnily enough, in his first ever defeat against Bowe. That was a fantastic performance by him. He was so brave. It was one of the great heavyweight championship fights. 4th round. Mercer giving Holyfield an extremely serious argument here early on.
Say that heavyweights start to slow after 3 rounds. We're into round 4.
Well, he was never frightened to have a tear up, Holyfield. He'd stand there in front of you and slug it out, and beginning to get through now with some left hooks and then a right hand as well. Look at Mercer come back at him. Terrific action in round 4. Holyfield, I think, went back to the corner and decided that something needed to be done, and he stepped up the tempo.
See, Holyfield has had the burst, and look at his pace now. He's slowed right down.
Well, Mercer had answers of his own there. Refused to let Holyfield take over the initiative. A real spurt, though, that from the old champion at the start of the round. But you're right, he hasn't sustained it.
Maybe it could be the ring rust, or maybe he might be having trouble breathing, but he just had a good spell and he slowed right down, unlike Evander Holyfield at this stage of a fight.
His old trainer, one of them anyway, Lou Duver there. In the background, he no longer has him in the corner. Last 3/4 of a minute of round 4, and this is quite intriguing so far. Crowd engrossed in this. Again, that right hand from Ray Mercer.
And although you say Holyfield has a good chin, but we did see him rocked by Bert Cooper, didn't we?
But he came back to win, didn't he?
Yes.
Fast start to this round from Holyfield. Mercer's come back well, though.
Every time Mercer hits Holyfield, I was going to say there, Ian, every time Mercer hits Holyfield with a body shot, then he seems to affect Holyfield the body shot, so there might be something in that.
Terrific action right at the start of the round. A real tear up this. Holyfield got through with a great right hand.
He leans over all the time. Thank you.
hard to separate them in that round, wasn't it?
Yes, some good exchanges here, isn't it? Some real...
Round 5 coming up then. The shaven-skulled Holyfield rises from his stool in the white trunks. Mercer, who spoke of getting out of boxing. There were drink problems for him, managerial conflicts. He was often overweight, but here he senses a chance to make his name again. Can he keep up his effort of the early rounds, though?
I think it's going to be in round 6, 7 and 8 where all of those problems that you said he's had are going to tell, because Evander Holyfield has already been a good liver.
As to be said, there are still those who do worry about Holyfield being back in the ring after being diagnosed as having a heart problem. I must say I'm one of them, although he has been cleared by a series of tests. He also had a faith healer working with him over the last year or so. It was thought that one of the reasons that the heart problem may have shown up was that there was an excess intake of fluid in a short period after the fight. But these are things really only the doctors will have the answers to. The boxing is holding its breath a little bit here. You don't want anything happening to Holyfield after some of the recent tragedies in the ring. The latest of them, the case of Jimmy Garcia, so tragically died a few days ago. 5th round. Oh, that was a great right through the middle from Holyfield. It didn't travel far. Flush on target, though, and again.
As the fight's progressing, Holyfield is maintaining a similar type speed, and Mercer seems to be slowing down. This is where the bad living and all that starts catching up. But he still has the power.
You should think in a long fight, Holyfield might be the one who'd finish the stronger.
Those body shots, every time around Holyfield gets a body shot, he really looks as if it affects him.
Last 10 seconds of round 5. These days he has so much money that he has a 65-seat movie theatre at his new mansion in Atlanta. Holyfield doesn't need to fight, but he wants to. Second half of the contest, round 6. It's a 10-rounder here, non-title fight, but a very important one in the heavyweight picture.
I think what we're beginning to see is the busier work rate of Evander Holyfield. Mercer not being able to respond as often as he was able to in the earlier rounds.
One of the key questions I took that Mercer can sustain his early effort. Sometimes his petrol tank hasn't always been the fullest. In his last fight, which was 10 months ago, he really did labour to a draw against the journeyman Marion Wilson. And on that occasion, he weighed 17 stone 8 pounds. So he's lost a stone and 8 pounds for this one. He obviously mixed his...
Sometimes you get fighters and they go out and they lose a lot of weight, but they don't. It takes a long time to maintain that, the real physical fitness.
Sorry if you were experiencing one or two sound problems there. We've sorted that out now for you. Halfway through the 6th round here.
The tide of the fight beginning to change. Mercer doing a little bit more backing up fighting rather than some forward fighting.
Decent right hand from Holyfield. As he's doing a lot less now, Ray Mercer. Some really crunching right hands earlier on. And the left hand there. And here he goes again towards the end of the round.
Ray Mercer now throwing single punches with not that much power in them, whereas Holyfield's persistent and volume of punches taking effect.
The impression at the moment is that Holyfield is just beginning to take control. Last few seconds of the 6th round, but Holyfield not especially convincing. It says something about Evander Holyfield, doesn't it, that he would choose a fight as potentially tough as this to come back to. I can think of a lot of fighters who would have picked some journeyman, some overweight journeyman, who might hit the canvas at the first opportunity.
Well, it shows that Evander Holyfield has every intention of winning the world title again. I think he may have a cut there.
A little bit of damage there by the side of the right eye for Holyfield. Well, if he needed any reminders about what a tough business this is, he has them.
Yeah.
I think that's what caused it. Clash of heads here.
Mercer, they're lunging in, wasn't he? Like a kind of a desperate type of lunging in this third.
7th round. Holyfield, 32, and Ray Mercer, the former Army Sergeant, 34. Mercer based these days not very far from here at Newark, New Jersey.
Mercer was shaking his head saying no, he didn't hurt me. Wouldn't have to shake his head if he didn't hurt.
Still that blood by the side of the right eye of Holyfield. It's 5 years since he became undisputed heavyweight champion of the world, Holyfield, when he beat Buster Douglas.
Is that a lot of blood there trickling down to Holyfield's eye?
Well, it looks a bit worse, doesn't it? Mercer again with the right hand, though. And the sight of that blood is going to encourage Mercer. If he was just beginning to go a little bit flat, maybe in the fight, that will have lifted him again.
Holyfield trying to corner him and get to work on him because it looks as if Mercer's trying to tie off.
Holyfield was hoping, I'm sure, for a convincing victory here against a man who'd lost to the aging Larry Holmes, who'd lost to the very ordinary Jesse Ferguson, and who'd drawn with the journeyman Marion Wilson. But Mercer had other ideas. the old Holyfield. That blood does look worse by that right eye. He's dabbing away at it now as if it's just beginning to obscure the vision as well.
And Mercer's there using it, flicking out the jab and jabbing at that eye as well.
Blood seems to be running down by the side of the eye. It shouldn't be obscuring the vision. I wouldn't think so anyway, but it's a worry for Holyfield. How would you be scoring this at the moment then, Gary?
Well, at this stage, I'd have to say I'd have Holyfield at least a round in front. But it's still a close fight, and he's in front of a puncher.
And there they are working on that right eye of Evander Holyfield.
He's tired. All he's trying to do is get by, baby.
Cornermen are telling him that Mercer is tiring.
Follow me? Just like in the gym, just like we work on a miss, okay? Get his breath and that kill hard.
I remember speaking to Holyfield once. I said to him, why do you carry on fighting? He said, why do you think I fought all those years as an amateur? For nothing, because I love it, he said.
That could be a problem to boxers. They enjoy doing it.
8th round. 9 minutes left of this. 3 judges scoring at ringside. Holyfield cut on his comeback by the right eye. Mercer giving him a really tough workout. Holyfield may be just in front, but can't be by an awful lot, I wouldn't think.
Mercer now has a target to aim for. Take the little bit of Vaseline off, and then you know you can aim for the target for him.
Four versions, of course, of the World Heavyweight Championship, unhappily, at the moment, and Holyfield holds victory over 2 of those champions, Foreman and Bowe. Get back towards them, he's got to win this. Mercer shaking his head as if to say he wasn't hurt. And he comes back at Holyfield. Those right hands have been thudding home all night.
So they both had that burst, and they both had to take a break. If one could jump on the other one after a burst like that, I think that could make a difference.
Timeout, says the referee. Now they're going to look at this eye of Holyfield. Well. And just wipe the blood away. It is mainly by the side of the eye. I can't see them stopping it for that. You wouldn't think so. No.
I think where it is at the side on the corner, it does drip in under it, and that's where maybe...
Well, they would have been up for a big stop for that. I don't think there's any serious question of that. 8th round. I think Mercer's beginning to really fancy his chances here now. Look at him, he's going in for a bit of showboating as well. Well, I don't know what the exact details or the rights and wrongs of Holyfield's medical condition are, but this has not been the most convincing comeback from him, although here he gets him with some good left hooks. Mercer wants to take a break from it. Suddenly a breakthrough for Holyfield in round 8. Is he going to get up? Wasn't a lot in it. He's giving out distress signals now, Mercer. Right hand Holyfield suddenly gets on top, the bell goes, and Mercer unbelievably raises his arms as if to say he won the round. Well, that was amazing. Well, Holyfield, just when things were beginning to look pretty bleak for him, really got through, and Mercer's spirit seemed to break.
I think Mercer was moving around, going backwards and sort of like showboating. I think he's more tired than showboating.
This is it again. Let's have a look. Left hook, good shot. Good shot from Holyfield. And he hit him while he was down as well. It was only a glancing blow.
I think he went down there voluntarily, because just before he went down, he didn't actually take another blow. There we go.
But it really was a good punch, the left hook.
Very Mercer tired. Very tired.
So, 9th round. Big 8 for Holyfield. It was what he was looking for. It's been a hard old night for him. And the victory hasn't always seemed assured, as Mercer's looked dangerous with his right hand. And Holyfield at times has looked like a man who's just trying to remember what the plot was. Getting through now. Left hook, then a body punch, then a big right hand. Holyfield taking control. How much more does Mercer have to give?
Mercer looks like he's fighting with that soldier spirit now. It's like he's walking forward just on sheer will.
Still the blood by the Holyfield right eye. I think when you assess this performance by Holyfield, I think you've got to say that this is as competitive as Ray Mercer's been in a long time.
Yeah. Still trying to lunge in with them long rights.
As Holyfield now subdued Mercer's spirit, beginning to just find his rhythm and timing. It's almost as if he spent this long shaking off the rust. This is the best phase of the fight by Holyfield. It's, as we thought, his superior conditioning is beginning to tell, isn't it, in these later stages now.
And Mercer now, he really is tired, and Holyfield's been able to pick the punches slowly and work his man over.
Holyfield would probably be entitled to ask his critics too after this, well, you've seen me now for, what is it, nearly 27 minutes in a tough fight where I've been cut. You still think I've got a heart problem?
Oh, I would have to say no. If he has got a heart problem, it's because it's too big.
Mercer is now under fire. He's breathing more heavily. Maybe the ambition that he came into the ring with is just beginning to die. Holyfield was so often in his career, right back to the cruiserweight days, always seemed to find a way to prevail.
Most probably never, if he doesn't really find a big punch.
Closest fight this for quite a while, but Holyfield taking control in round 8 and looking good again in the 9th. Round. Cornermen have done a decent job by that right eye of Evander Holyfield. They touch gloves. 10th and final round here.
It would be good if Evander Holyfield could work a stoppage out of this. This would really let everyone know he's back.
Well, he was close to it in that 8th round. Again, letting go with the right hand. Never been a really concussive puncher at heavyweight, Holyfield, but the sheer volume of his work has nearly always got the job done for him. His only 2 defeats against Bowe and Mora. It's much better than he did against Mora, but not back, I think, to his very excellent best. But that can be excused after the layoff. He's getting this job done now against Mercer after a battle.
It's good. I think it's a very good comeback for Evander Holyfield. It's a comeback where he's put himself right, he's in a competitive match, and he will know from here that he has or he has the desire to win. A real deep down desire.
There's never been any question about that. He's a man who's always been prepared to bare his soul in pursuit of victory. Last 75 seconds now.
Good shot there by Evander Holyfield.
For him, I'm sure it'll seem good to be back, and it looks like he'll be good to be back with a win too. That's how tired Mercer is. Well, that was almost something out of Twickenham, wasn't it?
Will Carley would have been proud of that, wouldn't he?
No knockdown, of course. Mercer's a tired fighter now. Ooh, right hand. He's still got something in the weaponry. Holyfield barely blinked. Last few seconds now. Holyfield, well, we reckon anyway, on his way to the victory here. Standing ovation from some of the crowd. For a long time it was tough. For a long time he perhaps struggled to find his old rhythm. But the last 2 or 3 rounds were pretty impressive in the end. And Holyfield is surely back with a win. Whether he's good enough to regain a version of the World Heavyweight Championship remains to be seen. And we await, of course, the judges' scoring on this one.
Well, I've got Holyfield the winner, but Mercer jumped up, had his hand up, he may believe he has won the fight.
Well, he does, doesn't he? Holyfield cut by the right eye. 10 hard rounds on the comeback trail. A little cut underneath the right eye of Ray Mercer.
I saw Michael Moore in the crowd, and Michael Moore, Evander Holyfield next is a good match, isn't it?
Could be. Could well see that. Holyfield, remember, would have had a 10-8 round on the scoring, I think, in round 8 with the knockdown. That is a 2-point margin. Normally the margin would be 10-9 on the scoring. So that would be worth 2 rounds to Holyfield. The right hand was always effective, wasn't it, for Mercer? Nearly all night.
Yeah, but apart from the first couple of rounds, he kept finding in desperation. All that rugby tackle there. He held on to him to make sure that if I'm going down, you're coming down with me.
Well, Mercer's going in for the old kidology. He's giving it the full Monty, isn't he, with the judges?
We go to the scorecard. Gene Williams scores about 95 to 94. Eva Jane has it 97 to 92. And Eugene Grant scores it 96, 93 for the winner by unanimous decision. The Warrior has returned. The winner, Evander Holyfield.
Back for the win. Lack spin.